So Kevin Smith is doubling down on blaming the fans for the failure of a show that he has with the Netflix Masters of the Universe Revelations. He told us it was going to be a He-Man show, and whenever we get baited and switched, he blames the fans for being angry about the bait and switch. Let's check it out. If you are also tired of pop culture being ruined by people like Kevin Smith ruining stuff like He-Man, and then also stuff like Star Wars and Marvel and all of the other IPs that are being ruined by people like Kevin Smith, then please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I try to post multiple videos on this channel every single day. Let's get into the video. So yeah, like I said, Kevin Smith is doubling down on the fact that this is fans' fault, that he didn't make a bad show, he didn't bait and switch us. It's just fans being angry for no reason because we feel like being mad, when that's never the case, man. Sometimes, yes, sometimes there are people out there who just like to be mad at stuff, but most of the time when it's this many people, and they're saying that it's only 5 to 10,000 people, if there are 5 to 10,000 people leaving bad reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, leaving bad reviews on YouTube, on Twitter, whatever it is, if you can count 5 to 10,000 people that are leaving those bad reviews, that means there's a lot more people out there that don't like your show than 5 to 10,000 people. Just look at the views that people like Clownfish TV, Yellow Flash, all of these people are getting when it comes to the Kevin Smith situation, when it comes to the He-Man situation. It's so much more than Kevin Smith himself is getting on his YouTube channel. When you have the live streams, when Yellow Flash does the live streams and he has so many people in there, so much more than Kevin Smith does when he does his live streams on the He-Man situation, you just know that people are tired of this. And not only are people mad about He-Man being ruined, but people are just tired of pop culture overall being ruined by people like Kevin Smith who claim to be nerds and then bait and switch us. He acts like he's a true nerd. He acts like he really cares about these IPs. He cares about the source material, but in reality, he just cares about bowing down to Hollywood and pushing the agendas that they want him to push. But as you can see, Kevin Smith has kind of moved on. He's now promoting Clerks 3. He posted this tweet yesterday. We had the first table reading of Clerks 3 with all of these people who are in the cast of Clerks 3 and creating Clerks 3, all of that stuff. He also tweeted this on July 27th. Right now, I'm calling into Preston Steve to talk about Clerks 3. So he's kind of just moved on from the Master of the Universe stuff. And then on July 26th, he also tweeted something about Clerks 3. He's not even talking about Master of the Universe anymore. But if you go to his likes, and I saw Yellow Flash talk about this in his video, if you go to his likes, he is liking some stuff that is people going after the people who don't like the Masters of the Universe show. He's liking stuff that goes after those fans. He's being very passive aggressive when it comes to that. Take a look at this tweet that he liked. It says, honestly, you did a fantastic job. But if you look at the picture that was posted, it's a He-Man figure and it says, show me on the action figure where Kevin Smith touched you. So it's pretty much, you know, just making fun of the fans that are mad about this. And of course, Kevin Smith leaves a like on that. And honestly, the fact that he's moving on to promote Clerks 3 now, I think he might be realizing that maybe he did a little bit of damage to his career, to his future career and his future movies, his future TV shows, because I think that he has to know that the nerddom, that the fandom, he even said it in one of the articles, he was quoted with saying that he knows how people react when they don't get the thing that they grew up with. And yes, he's seeing, like, if you go to his likes, there's a lot of people out there that do like the show. Of course, there's always going to be people, if you're a Kevin Smith, if you're a diehard Kevin Smith fan, I mean, the guy has 3.1 million followers. If you just love everything that Kevin Smith does, you're going to get a lot of love sent your way. But I think that Kevin Smith truly knows that, you know, his show getting a 27% on Rotten Tomatoes when it comes to the audience score before they froze the reviews, because like I was saying earlier, they did freeze the reviews. You can't leave a review right now, or at least I can't. Maybe you can, but I know that they froze the reviews. I believe that the reviews are still frozen, and it's gone up like 6, 7, maybe even 10% ever since they froze the reviews. That's not a coincidence. But I think that Kevin Smith, like I said, he was quoted with saying he knows how fans react when they don't get the thing that they want, the thing that they grew up with. And I think that he knows that these people, the way that they're reacting, the audience score, the Rotten Tomatoes score, all of these bad reviews, these 5 to 10,000 people that they claim are the only ones that are leaving the bad reviews, I think Kevin Smith deep down knows that this is really going to hurt not only Clerks 3, but all of his future projects, all of his future TV shows, movies. It's going to hurt him. He's not going to be able to crowdfund any more movies. He did that for, I believe he did that for 2 different movies. He crowdfunded the entire project. He's not going to be able to do that anymore, man. If you go to his YouTube channel, he's still getting ratioed like crazy. I don't have it pulled up right now. I would show you, but if you go check it out yourself, he is getting ratioed like crazy on his own YouTube channel. A lot of his fans, because he baited and switched himself with his own personality. He baited us in with us thinking that he's a true fan. I have a Kevin Smith Funko Pop behind me right now. I thought he was a true fan as well. I thought he was a true nerd as well. Before all of this happened, I probably would have gave him some money to make his own film, because I really do enjoy Kevin Smith films up until this point. I have no more respect for the guy because of what he did to He-Man. And I'm not going to sit up here and lie like I'm the biggest He-Man fan in the world and that you ruined my favorite character of all time. It's nothing like that. I'm just tired of these people ruining pop culture, and Kevin Smith is further propagating the ruining of pop culture. But let's check out this Forbes article, which also is on Kevin Smith's side, of course, and they are blaming the fans for being toxic, and apparently we don't actually dislike the show. Apparently we don't actually dislike the decisions that Kevin Smith made, and they actually specifically go after YouTubers for making this whole situation worse. We've witnessed Netflix's He-Man controversy far too many times before, and this article is very long, so I am going to skip around a bit. But let's get into it. Kevin Smith has fired back at an outspoken group of fans who are angrily criticizing and review bombing his He-Man sequel series for Netflix titled Masters of Universe Revelation. See, the problem is they claim it's a He-Man sequel, and it really just doesn't have He-Man in it that much. He might be in part 2 a lot. You know, they're claiming that he's going to be in part 2 a lot. I think that you're going to lose a lot of fans between part 1 and part 2. In the comments, let me know if you're planning on watching part 2. I said that in my last video, and a lot of people were leaving a lot of comments saying that they're not even going to watch part 2. And I don't think if I didn't have a YouTube channel, if I didn't want to talk about it on my channel in videos, on streams and stuff like that, I probably wouldn't watch it either. The only reason why I'm thinking about watching it is because I want to talk about it on my YouTube channel. But the article also says, hence social media is filled with comments complaining that Smith has made He-Man woke, while opportunistic YouTubers feign outrage over the show's increased focus on diversity, turning the discourse increasingly toxic. So as you can see, they specifically go after YouTubers for feigning outrage over the show's increased focus on diversity. Yes, we are pretty mad at the show's increased focus on diversity because the show's focus should be on good storytelling and not diversity, and we've seen it a million times. We've seen it over and over again with so many beloved IPs that when you start focusing on the identity politics, when you start focusing on the diversity, you always take a hit when it comes to the story because that becomes people's main focus. Their main focus becomes checking off boxes instead of telling a good story, and no side wins in that scenario. Because if you're on the other side, if you really like this woke stuff being pushed, if you really like the diversity, I'm all for diversity. I think that if you're not for diversity, you're a bad human. But whenever it says the show's increased focus is on diversity, the diversity should just come naturally. The show, the movie should be diverse because you're a good human, not because you have to check off boxes to make sure that everyone knows that the show's focus is on diversity. That's not how it should work, and no side wins whenever a show's focus is on diversity, because the side that I'm on that just wants good content, we're not going to get that, and the people who are on the other side who really only care about the diversity, they don't win either, because the only reason why you're getting the diversity is so they can check off boxes. They don't actually care about having diversity in their shows and their movies. They just want to profit off of the people who actually do care. I know there's some people that are like, hey man, this show's woke. I'm like, all right, great. Then so was the original cartoon. We're effing sequelizing. Go watch it again. There are girls in every episode. Deal with it. Yes, we know that there are girls in every episode, and I don't think Teela ever really took that much of a backseat to He-Man as far as I know in the original series or in the original cartoon. I don't think that Teela was ever really in He-Man's shadow that much. I think they kind of fought side by side, but now He-Man is being put in Teela's shadow after we already got the girl version of the show and She-Ra. We already got that show, and now we're seeing the He-Man sequel. Apparently, Kevin Smith literally calls it a He-Man sequel in this article. He's quoted with saying that. He calls it a He-Man sequel, and there's no He-Man in the sequel. I know, like I said, I know that they're saying he's going to be in part 2, but in part 1, as far as we know, the women took the front seat and He-Man took the back seat. Teela specifically took the front seat. This is pretty much Teela's show, like every single reviewer said. This is Teela's show. Even before the show came out, a year and a half before the show came out, Clownfish TV reports that this is going to be Teela's show. Kevin Smith denies it because he knows, he feels guilty about it. He denies it for a year and a half. The show comes out, it's Teela's show, and now he's criticizing us. Now he's blaming us for not liking the bait and switch that he pulled. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely hilarious what Kevin Smith has been saying lately. And honestly, it makes me pretty sad because, like I said, I have a Kevin Smith Funko Pop behind me. I've been a Kevin Smith fan my entire life, but after him saying stuff like this, after him blaming the fans for his failure of a show, after him saying that the fans are just being toxic, that we just want to be outraged over nothing, when that's totally not true, and then he says that he understands fandom and all that stuff. You don't understand fandom. You understand how to push the agenda that Hollywood, that Netflix wants you to push, and you don't really care about telling a good story. You just care about making that money, staying involved in Hollywood in the future. That's all you care about. You don't actually care about pleasing fans or telling a good story. You just want to be involved in Hollywood. You just want to be accepted by Hollywood, and that's okay, but just come out and admit that and stop lying to us, saying that we're actually going to get what we want, and then baiting and switching us, and then acting like we're the problem when we're mad about that. But let me know what you guys think about that Forbes article about what Kevin Smith is liking on Twitter, and the fact that he is moving on to promoting Clerks 3 because he knows that it's most likely going to be a failure after this complete disaster of the He-Man sequel. Apparently it's a He-Man sequel. It wasn't a He-Man sequel, but he knows that Clerks 3 is probably going to fail because of it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. If you want to follow me on Twitter or join the Discord, both those links will be in the description as well. Thank you for watching the video. Hope to see you in the next one.